Hey traders, this is Marco. Welcome to the weekly preview for calendar week 11. And you can see here the daily ES chart. So one candle equals one trading day. And we are still in this huge downtrend here. We had the first break of this downtrend and now waiting for retest of the lows that were made last October. And if we get a bit closer to current price action, you can see we are staying in this yellow range at the moment. So prices formed this range pretty much in November, end of November last year. We had a failed breakout to the low side, came back inside the range, then tested the top of the range. We broke out of this range, came back inside the range. As you know, most breakouts fail in ranges. And now recently, we had this uptrend here working higher with an overshoot. After that, we saw a break, and there's a shorter term downtrend working lower here in pink. And prices broke out of this downtrend and retested the lows. So right now, I think we can increase this range a bit further down. I would make it like so, because you can see prices found some nice support here, then bounced off this support, came back inside to the middle of the range, then tested the top, and now all the way back down to the range support. So this is what a healthy range looks like when prices are testing support, when prices are testing the resistance and go back and forth within the range. The overall context is still bearish. You can see this downtrend working lower with the first break, and I would like to see a retest of the lows until I'm confident saying that this huge downtrend here played out, because we had just had the first break here and now we're working slowly according to this like last lows that were made last October in 2022. If you want, you can see we have like two legs working lower here. This is pretty much the first leg, I would say, until here. Then this is the pullback and the second leg from here. And you can see we always almost hit the measured move here, which equals the support of the range. So right now, we are in very strong oversold territory. I was speaking about this in the last weekly previews. Whenever prices are getting close to these lines here, these bands, this brown and violet bands, then you can see a pullback and a move to the different direction. For example, we had it here, a touch of the brown line. We pulled back to the EMA. The EMA is the medium line here, and then tested the lower areas, the lower bands. We had a pullback here, tested the top, and another pullback here, and now we're testing the lower bands again. We are in strong oversold territory, so we can expect either some sideways action for the next coming days or we have a pullback back inside the middle of the range. So I don't think that this very strong push lower here will continue within the next trading days. I think that we find some support here of this range and then go a bit sideways to go back inside the middle of the range, or having a small pullback here and then making a second bigger leg close to the last lows from last year. So this is the current price action. Of course, always trade what you see and not what you think. But if I have to make a prediction, then this is what I think will happen. So right now, as long as prices are staying within this range and we are not breaking through this support here, then I think prices will stay a bit longer in this yellow range here until we see some strong momentum to either direction. And if you want, if this is a first leg, then we could see a potential pullback. Mostly pullbacks are going like 50% back to the original move. So if this move here working lower, then we could see a pullback around this level here and then forming a second leg, and that leg would bring us exactly to the lows that I mentioned a couple of times now. So it will be very interesting to see what will happen in the next week. And there are two important news next week. One starting on Tuesday. This is the inflation news, the CPI. So directly on Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning, keep an eye for this news event. This is a high impact news. It's marked in red here. We have the CPI and the core CPI, all three at 8:30. So at the opening, watch out, don't trade the opening. I expect a huge volatility around 8:30, depending on how the inflation will be. If the inflation is higher than expected, I think there will be some strong moves lower. And if inflation is cooling down a bit, so we see either a number equals the forecast here, or a number lower than this, then I think we will see some positive up momentum, some bulls coming into the market, finding more trust. The second news on Wednesday, also at 8:30, you can see there are 5 important news events. You can read it here. So same 8:30 at the opening. That will also cause a very big reaction. And beside to that, we have the unemployment claims on Thursday. This is marked here in orange, but since you know me, I'm telling that the unemployment claims have more importance at the moment, because everyone is looking on this number as a signal for the Fed to pivot. And on Friday at 10 a.m. we have one more news event, but usually this news will not spike the markets too much. The last news in this area didn't have such a big reaction to the market. So the most important days are on Tuesday and Wednesday, so keep an eye for that. And yeah, I think that's it for the weekly preview. I hope you like it. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I wish you good trades and speak to you next week.